the morning steam, it's time to break, run for cover. Bet's gonna cover, bet's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott, running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice or might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
All right, a pleasant good morning to you coming from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam Show here for Monday, October 27th. We're ready right now for Game 3 of the World Series tonight. The scene shifts back to Los Angeles, and we're hungry for it because we're going to have to suffer through a potential blowout tonight in the NFL. If you take a look at those 11.5 points tonight with the Chiefs and the Commanders. So hey, at least we got the baseball game to tide us over. It might be the featured game tonight here on the Sports Money Network companion stream. Yeah, we'll be here for Monday Night Football tonight with the guys. We had a great time last night harassing Razor with his Packers, but man, they sure look good in the second half with Jordan Love. Hey, we had a winner there on the show with them last night with Kraft over in his receptions. We had Jordan Love over in his yards there. So we picked up a couple of winners last night with them on the show, and we'll get ready to join you right back here tonight on Monday Night Football with the Commanders at the Chiefs, but also the Blue Jays at the Dodgers. We'll touch on those games here in just a moment. Also, a big NBA card. Man, a lot of back-to-backers here tonight after a big Sunday card. We're coming right back at it tonight, I think, with, 11 games here, 9 games. What is it there tonight? Big card of 11 games in all tonight in the NBA. So we got to touch on those, and 2 on the ice here tonight as well. And there's Monday fixtures across the pond in soccer. I was more interested tonight maybe in the Major League Soccer playoffs after my SDFC team won 2-1 over Portland in Game 1 of their series. First ever playoff game for SDFC. You know, they got the number 1 seed. It's an expansion team. A lot of excitement back to my hometown in San Diego, and they are looking pretty good so far, even if they're having certainly some problems with Chucky Lozano. Get him out of here. We don't need that. We can build this team in San Diego looking pretty good here, heading back up to Portland after the 2-1 victory last night in the MLS playoffs. There's 2 games tonight with Columbus at Cincinnati. How about that for a little rivalry in Seattle and Minnesota tonight as well in MLS, and some other Monday fixtures as well. Atletico taking on Betis in La Liga today as the featured game across the pond. All right, we want to take a look at a recap of football action on Sunday. I can't wait to talk a little football with you and maybe touch on those other sports as well. But, man, how about we say hello to some folks in the chat and get the show rolling here. Also, make sure if you guys want to receive some complimentary picks from me, all you have to do is type in the chat anything, really, your name, who's going to win, whatever. I'll enter in the drawing here. The drawing is more fun probably than getting the picks, seeing your name come up there with the fireworks, but I love to do that, and I really hope you take advantage of my offer because I want to show you how good I pick these games. And I'm going to tell you about some of the winners I had yesterday here on the show. And let's say hello to my friends in the chat. These are the chat all-stars. Jerry says Toronto's going to lose tonight's game. They're going down with Max on the mound. Nuke is here, though. He'll say no, and he says, let's get that money. Blake is here. And, oh, man, you don't get many here. I'm a guy that had a lot of jerseys, still have a lot of jerseys, and usually you get the skill players jerseys, right? You get, the backs or the receivers of the court. I got a Nick Mangold jersey. I'm kind of one of those guys, like the look at me guys, as we couldn't tell. And I was like, they had a Nick Mangold, actually it was a New York Titans jersey, but it was Mangold. It was like one of those throwbacks like the Steelers last night with those bumblebees. And it was real cool, though. It was dark blue and gold. Just you can look at New York Titans replica jersey, Jets or something, and you'll see it. And they had a Mangold, and I'm like, I like that, and I like Nick Mangold. And I got his jersey, and I really liked him as a great player. And after you listen to Rex Ryan talk about the type of person and player he was, yeah, he was pretty cool cat for sure. And too bad he was not doing well. All right, Tom's good morning. Man, you guys in the Jets, I felt bad, so hopefully someone's in the chat, and they were like, who do you like better for Survivor, the Bengals or the Patriots? I'm like, well, you got to go with the Bengals here. The Jets don't even have a win. But you know what about the Jets last night? And I'm going to recap the games here right now anyways, but when you look at a guy like Justin Fields, and I certainly was fading the Jets because of Justin Fields, not because of his ability, but the position that he was put in by the organization and maybe by himself too, or whatever. But you know what you do when you make a performance like that? If you weren't already, you're a quarterback, you're supposed to kind of be a leader, and maybe that's one of the things everyone's kind of wondered about Justin Fields, right? But when you come up with a performance like that, even your harshest critics of that maybe were teammates or like, can we even win? That you had just won like a boss, and now you command respect from other people when you get a win like that. When you put the team on your shoulder, there were some other stars, but there was Fields pretty much, right? So you can win a lot of people back too that way. Other people make comebacks all the time, right? And it's by putting yourself out there and coming through with a big performance, one that people aren't expecting, and one that shows heart and your skill too. And Justin Fields was all that yesterday. I'll talk about the games in just a minute, but I just want to say that about him, right? And that the reason why I'm so serious is because if you heard what he said after if you listen to that post conference they had, press conferences, quotes there, you got to take command for what he says, right? And you can feel the emotion. So good on you, Justin Fields. I hope he wins that job back, and I hope the Jets at least can salvage some pride here this season. They've got the man. We know they've been a cluster, for years anyways. So it's probably not Justin Fields' fault when they needed him to come through and right when they need him to freaking play, because they already kind of blew it themselves by telling him, hey, we don't want you. We're not using you. And then when you needed him and he come out and bailed your ass out, 0-7 record. Okay, so you can clip this. So we had about Scatabo too. Man, even the Eagles fans gave this guy a standing ovation because everybody thought this guy's the bomb. I mean, I respect him as a opponent, and we all like the way he was getting it done. That was a big turnaround for the Giants part of it with Dart and Scatabo. How about the little headbutt when he was on the cart there yesterday? And hello to Sancho. How you been, Sancho? Nuke says, like this video, subscribe to our channel, Sports Money, here on YouTube, the fastest growing sports betting channel on YouTube. Sando says the Dodgers are going to win today. Joe W is here. Sancho's ready to go in some tennis action. Yeah, we got Paris Masters. I'm kind of laid off here, playing a few matches here today. And hopefully get rolling on some premiums here once we get maybe the next round. All the good matches today for sure. At Maine coming up, I saw here, and Mitchelson. I mean, God, the guy's been a disaster this year for bettors, but he's obviously been playing well up against Zuzu Bergs here. Francisco Cerundolo taking on Zoom Her. I believe that one might be underway right now so far. So just checking out some of the matches there right myself. There's Sancho, ready to go. Greg Gibson said, for Houston, no Nico, no problem. Credit Houston, credit my man. Credit my man, C.J. Stroud. I sat here and took the heat for weeks, right? Just saying, hey, don't, he is the man still. It's just they can't protect him. And they got the protection. And, yeah, you know what? part of San Francisco's problem has been missing key big-time defensive players that maybe made the team just that much stronger. And hopefully they'll be able to keep salvaging it at home. They're not going to get the much healthier anytime soon. But look, they still were having a pretty good record. Maybe Houston was underachieving a little bit. Big pride for Houston there, especially for C.J. Stroud, also a guy that I continue to say is pretty awesome, but really not getting a fair shake there of late. It's been a rough year and a half for Stroud, but he came through. Irish King's ready to go. Sancho's here. Greg Gibson says Baltimore would get it done against the Bears, and did they ever? Baltimore early and throughout, and it was really Snoop Huntley that gets, I don't know, a lot of the credit for coming in there. You look what was going on with the Ravens with Jackson out in the previous games, but in this one, Snoop comes in. Snoop, there he is, and gets it done there, pulling away. Remember, it was 16-13, and then the Ravens won it. They're pulling away. So We Do is here, and there's Brian in the chat. Good to see Brian here with me today. Dolphins will put up points in that dome, somebody said. Who said that? Was that Terrell or was that me that said it, right, Terrell? Yeah, we had the Dolphins, Terrell and I, on the morning's team yesterday, putting up that big number. Another quarterback that I always continue to trust here a little bit and say, and look, I keep saying I'm a McDaniel guy. I don't care what everybody says, I don't know. It's easy to bash on this guy for sure, but I like to read stories. I like to read about the personalities of people. I like to read about the character of people, and I'm pretty big on Tua Tagovailoa. I don't care if he was the worst quarterback in the league, but it's kind of weird, the story, right, with the pink eye and the vision thing. Maybe he should have pink eye every week the way he went. Minnesota over Wild. I'm looking at my hockey, but I don't know if I'm ready to go there on just yet, reacting to my man We Do. And let's see, Bills would crush. I you know what? I went obviously there without, I whiffed on that one, but should have known better with the red rifle. He wasn't going to be ready to go. I said, I'd rather obviously have Bryce Young in there, but I was just playing this Panthers hot streak right now, and the fact they're covering every game, but you're going up against a monster team like the Buffalo Bills that, they've had some slip-ups, so they need to keep winning them when they could beat up on a bad team. They did. All right. Greg was hot there. He said he won them all except Atlanta and the Bengals. I went down with the Bengals too there, but Terrell said, hey, we got a big news here from last night as well with Brian Kelly getting $53 million buyout. And you know what? Good luck to you, LSU. Who are you going to get now to coach your team? Some names out there surfacing right now that could come in and do it here, but we'll see. And Nuke says it wasn't the Jets, it's Cincinnati. Well, the defense was bad, no doubt, but Cincinnati's always had a bad defense, right? But you don't count out Justin Fields when you're, you can only beat who you're playing out there. I'm not going to trust him to beat the Kansas City Chiefs or anything. All right, Sir Mackey not thinking the Eagles are kind of a fraud here, it seems like. And let's see, Jets deserve one, right? I mean, in the NFL, you're always going to get one eventually, really. You don't see anything too bad. Greg said, how about Aaron Rodgers in the end? You know what? It come up looking pretty bad for Aaron Rodgers there last night. Tomlin, maybe, let's see here. Bears defense had some roughness around there with the Ravens. They got some way to go here for sure. Greg says Atlanta overrated there. And also, though, interestingly, right, the favorite teams won, except in that game where the Dolphins were the underdog. But we were talking last night on the show, the AFC dominated the matchups with the NFC. They won them all except for the night game. It was a interconference heavy schedule yesterday with not a lot of division matchups. It resulted in the biggest one-sided card of the year for the winners in the games, right? The games were pretty much all blowouts. So division games are better, maybe even conference games are better right now. Interconference games, not to say the AFC teams are better, maybe they are right now, but I think it more so says teams are more apt to have, look, you can't go 100% every week. We know this is pro sports, right? So there are going to be some games, and that's the job of the handicapper, really. Anybody can sit there and pick the favorite every time, however we do it, right? Even Square Ramon picking a bunch of unders and losing, or yesterday I went on over on every game and, crushed that early card on the totals. But the key being when you have the interconference matchup, that might be the week that you're like, oh, you know what? I mean, next week is usually going to be a big game. The next week, it's probably a division game or something, and you might be coming off a division game. So these games, maybe that's what I feel like as far as why that could happen on a week like this. All right, and Apache had some good props there yesterday. Hey, how about the boys? Let me tell you right now what the guys did there yesterday. Remember, we were on that show, and on Saturday night on the UFC show, and the guys said, let's whip together a touchdown parlay. The thing cashed it with 5 minutes to go in this 5 minutes into the second quarter with Achan, Barkley, and D. Henry, and we all picked one and we hit it. Three-teamer right out of the gate. I think it was Mikey told me it's 4-1. I got 4.28 to 1 on it, so it was cool to get that. We didn't hit the other one, but hey, that'll pay for it. That was a good TD parlay there. Yeah, be careful, AOD, right? Be careful where you got that, where you put your fingers. We learned that in the octagon this week. Bears team total streak ended. I'm not fretting, right? And look, still got improvement. You're going and playing the Baltimore Ravens. Their backs were to the wall. It's not like Huntley wasn't unfamiliar with his role there for the Ravens, like maybe we'd seen there. So I still think the Bears will, keep improving here right now. Hey, Apache's talking basketball with me today. And let's see what else. All right, I guess that's it for now. Let's get into it. I do want to do a little bit of recap here. It's Monday, and we got a bunch of basketball here, so please stay tuned if you want. We're going to be taking a look at all the games, including the World Series, in just a moment. I do want to look at some of the scores there yesterday, too, for some of the games we missed. I got a little loose there with some of the commentary. You guys are helping me out with some great comments in the chat, but Jets 39-38 over the Bengals. We know that. But Breece Hall, 133 yards, 2 touchdowns, and threw the game-winning touchdown there. Look, the Jets, 6 of their 8 games have been decided by a touchdown or less. So they've been in the games. It's just that, hey, when you don't win the games, right, you don't have the clutch gene. But Bengals have lost 5 of 6 coming in. Flacco, it was still hot. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Cincinnati 4-0 in their home games, and with Flacco, you just figure it's going to be a bunch of shootouts with a lot of volatility here moving forward. Ravens ended up winning that game by 14 over the Bears to have that winning streak snap for the Bears. The Bears committed a bunch of penalties as well, but Chicago 13-23, last 26 as a road dog against the number 8-14 ATS, last 23 coming off a win, not their best role. Dolphins over the Falcons. Yeah, we were on the Dolphins here on the morning's team for sure. With they were up 24-3 in the third quarter there, and Tua 4 touchdowns to 4 different receivers. He still can come through. The relationship between Tua and his coach is definitely a father-son type. You're a brother, maybe brother, and I don't buy it. That there's problems, no doubt. I mean, it probably will end badly for my man McDaniel, but when they are in a groove, and yes, like I said, I think in the controlled environment, much better for Miami than any elements, even the outdoor at home. But once they get into some, road games, on the grass, even with a little bit of maybe just more on the road period that isn't a dome, I guess, but. Atlanta 7-17 ATS, last 24 as a home favorite, not a good role for them. Buffalo, how about James Cook, 216 yards, the most by a Buffalo running back since O.J. Simpson in 1976. Buffalo under McDermott, 9-0 straight up, coming in off of a bye. Carolina had their 3-game winning streak snapped. Texans over the Niners. Kittle on tight end day. How about the tight ends yesterday? They had 10 touchdowns from 9 tight ends in the in the Sunday slate heading into Monday night, and then we saw Tucker Kraft go off there as well. And also for Pittsburgh, the tight ends were maybe they didn't live up to expectations, but Tucker Kraft sure did. Giants got crushed, of course, by the Eagles. Saw Barkley off into the races, 65 yards on the second play of the game. Philly ran all over him and Scatterbo. Really a bummer there. That's going to, hurt the Giants for sure. This guy was a big cog, but still, Dart showed a lot of heart. They still lost by 18 points, but he did have one point. He was just kind of keeping them back in the game a little bit there, 24-13, but it was over after that. And the Eagles did outgain him by 180 yards in that one. Giants have lost 13 straight games at Philadelphia, but are 6-7 ATS in those games. Patriots over the Browns there, crushed them actually. We had the Patriots here on the morning steam, of course, 32-13, but man, tell you what a performance yesterday by who for the New England Patriots. Drake May, he continued to look strong here. The Patriots are red hot at this point, but Myles Garrett he sacked the show. What did they do? 5 sacks in the game there for Myles Garrett, but Drake May crushed and had a great game there, and the Patriots continue to roll right now to another victory. They've won and covered 5 straight right now. Browns are 0-4 on the road. They're also 8-19 last 27 as a road dog. Buccaneers over the Saints. Yeah, we had the Bucks here on the morning steam yesterday on the road. They stymied the Saints for sure, shut them down big time. They only led 7-3 at halftime on I think it was a pick 6, but Buccaneers 12-3 ATS last 15, coming in off of a loss. They've won and covered 4 straight at New Orleans. Saints are just 6-16 last 22 ATS as a home dog. Tyler Shock got in there as Rattler was out of the game as the Buccaneers crushed them, and we had them here on the morning steam. We also had the Colts here on the morning steam. Told you to take them over the Titans. They'd roll with that 2-touchdown spread, and Taylor 153 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an 80-yard touchdown run. Steichen is 9-2 against the spread as a home favorite since taking over as the Colts coach, who are 5-0 straight up and 4-1 against the spread at home this season. As you guys know, 7-1 of the over on their team total. Meanwhile, Tennessee 1-7 straight up and against the spread, 6 losses by double digits. Easy money. The Titans are 4-15 against the spread. Last 19 as an underdog, but look out for DK, the other DK, D-I-K-E. Not the DK that's just a troublemaker on the Steelers. Broncos over the Cowboys as we swept those afternoon games. Said take the Broncos to crush. Denver won their 5th in a row, destroying Dallas there in the first half, led 27-10 at halftime. And right now, long look at Dallas here, right? It was basically that top-notch offense against a record-setting historical defense. And what happens when that goes down? The defense won out, but it was more so Dallas's bad defense, because Dallas still scored 24 points, but they actually ended up with Joe Milton in there, I think, in the end of the game there. And late night, it was the Packers over the Steelers in that great comeback last night, destroying them pretty much in the second half. It was 16-7 Pittsburgh at halftime. Jordan Love completed 20 consecutive passes to tie an unofficial team record there, and they outgained the Steelers by 150 yards. Pittsburgh was 1 of 10 on 3rd down, and we didn't have that one. I did not have that one. Good job, Packers. All right, and there were some winners here in the NBA, but we'll just cover those on the morning steam here as far as what happened. It took Milwaukee to get the money against Cleveland. That came home a winner. We also had Dallas over Toronto yesterday for a winner here on the morning steam show there yesterday, and a couple more late night in the NBA. The Lakers, we had them over Sacramento 127-120 as they got it done there on the ice. We also brought home a couple of winners as well yesterday here on the show with over in San Jose and Minnesota. We also have the Dallas Stars with the 3-2 win over Nashville on the road. We also went with the Kings, and they got it done against Chicago yesterday. And late night, we had Vancouver as a dog over Edmonton. All right, let's talk a little sports today, and I want to hear what you guys had to say during the typical Monday monologue. After a Sunday, I like to talk about every game if we can, and I try to highlight a few winners that I had here with you guys on the show. Let's see what you have here. We get ready to go. All right, Greg's ready to go with Monday Night Football, and Chiefs will win. And Andrew, poor Mike, I was giving him the business, man. Right? Because look, you can say what you want, but you get to cut some slack when it's that obvious. I guess if you want to quit, you can quit. All right, let's see here. Mariota, right? Plenty of experience, right? Apache and Mariota's already been in there this year, but still, they're going here up against you know who. Tampa playing, I think Greg's saying Tampa isn't playing anybody and the Saints are bad. Yeah, well, that's part of it, right? That's why they've dominated the division. It's been a weak division for years, but Tampa's been the best. Get them into division, even on the road. They're going to be able to take it down. You know, you win the division, one thing you're probably going to get is a home game, and that's all they need. But we've seen the Bucs here, do their thing kind of in the postseason a little bit. And will Mariota be as good as Hundley was? The other backups weren't that good, right? And I've been taking the Saints a little bit, Sancho, but not yesterday. I wasn't. I was on the Patriots here yesterday over the Browns. Yeah, I was back on the Patriots for sure. And this is about as good as they've been in the post-Brady era, it feels like. But Sir Mackey's not buying it right now. You think Spencer Rattler is bad. Wait till we put in this guy. Cowboys frauds a little bit too. But, they were playing a pretty good team, especially with that D. So the fact that they even scored that many points with two different quarterbacks, it kind of shows I think they still got a pretty good offense. Jerry Jones denied the fact that he thought the Cowboys were one defensive player away from being a good team. He made that clear, but, that's just a little bit of Jer speak. Thurman Thomas was a great bill too, wasn't it? Sir Mackey will be shipped out of here, and they'll trade him for Bryce Young. Let's see here. Cowboys had pass defense. Even the Broncos were having a big day, right? Let's see. Myles Garrett, man, that was what a performance. If you watch that game, that was one of the greatest individual performances in NFL history. Only 5 times has a player recorded 20 times has a player recorded 5 or more sacks. Apache Storm, hey, they said A.J. Brown isn't going to get traded. You know what that means. Terrell, yeah, you know what? Come on, DK. You're getting blown out here in the second half. Talk your stuff when you're winning, but it's frustrating when you're getting beat, isn't it? Oh, look at that. And they still lost the game, Nuke said. Wow, how about that, too? And let's see here. Lakers came through, and Detroit in the NBA. Luka needs a day off. Luka needs a week off. We'll get to that here in just a moment. And Blazers are favored at LA today since Luka's no way. Celtics are cooked. We're going to talk about it. They're 0-3 and need a win here today. All right. Terrell didn't, Yeah, you know what? If you're holding the grudge over, I don't know, Terrell, maybe the Bounty Gate scandal a little bit. I know we were talking about it with some guys, and and you got to blame the assistant coaching back then too. And maybe he's a cocky and arrogant guy, but also, you know what? I do like about Coach Payton. If you've ever seen, I think some of you know this. His daughter is actually I would say a betting commentator, right? I mean, she probably deserves a bigger role. She's been pretty good, I think. Megan Payton and has kind of found her niche or her way into the sports broadcasting industry because doing work like this, like we do, but on a bit of a higher scale. But she's done a real good job and has a great screen appearance and knows the game. And I think that it was interesting that she's in that kind of space. It has nothing to do, I guess, with Coach Payton, but I just find it interesting that she is a betting commentator. She's a betting analyst, basically, right? What's her name? She's the Megan Payton. I think she's on FanDuel TV, right? Steelers have had 3. Yeah, isn't that crazy? All right. I'm getting through all these. Jordy, good morning. Hello. Hope we're not taking too much time here. Just really happy to see everyone in the chat and get these great comments from you guys. Jordy says the Dodgers can win today. Justin's here ready to go. And Greg is also talking about, I think, Tatum there with the Celts, right? Okay, maybe some Portuguese soccer today. Let's go. You guys, we got to go, right? We got to go. You can get more plays from me today by going to winnable.com/Ramon. I'm going to have more plays. I'm going to give out my best plays 30 to 60 minutes before the game. Go to winnable.com/Ramon and use the promo code STEAM to get more content from me. It supports me here on the channel. If you want me to come here every day, please consider getting my picks. You can win the picks just by typing something into the chat, and you may win the drawing at the end of the game, at the end of the show. But you can join me over at winnable.com for 50 cents a day when you use the promo code STEAM and support me here on the show. Man, I got 60 of you signed up at 50 cents a day. You do the math and see how rich I'm getting here. All right, let's go to the World Series, baby. Man, feels like it's going to be a pretty good World Series. And you know what? When you got an international World Series, you want it to be a great World Series. And maybe it'll be 7 games if the Toronto Blue Jays can come through tonight against the Los Angeles Dodgers. But, man, look at this line. This is the World Series. Who else are you going to throw out there but Max Scherzer for the Toronto Blue Jays? You know, he pestered his manager as soon as the Jays won the American League pennant. He hit up his manager and said, "What's the plan? What's the plan?" And coach said, "I'm just enjoying a beer here right now, Max. Let's slow down." But you're not going to. Max may go out there and get, he may go out there and deal. He may go out there and get rung up, but he ain't taking him. He ain't getting taken out of the game until he's ready to get taken out of the game. So you're going to get it all with Max here tonight. And Max just pitched in the World Series, of course, 2 years ago for the Texas Rangers. Pretty special, a 2-time World Series champion and obviously an all-star pitcher, a Hall of Famer. Max Scherzer here going for the Blue Jays here in this one. It was only 4 years ago also. Remember that Max was acquired, in a trade with the Dodgers from the Nationals, and he just came there for like the last part of the season, pitched 7 games, and pretty much was Cy Young out there leading the Dodgers into the National League Championship Series. Remember against the Braves? And then Max was scheduled to pitch Game 6, but he came up lame. His arm was bothering him, and he couldn't pitch Game 6. The Dodgers lost, and Max was gone the next year to the Mets, signing that $130 million contract. So that just stuck out in my mind as he takes the mound here tonight against the Los Angeles Dodgers. And for Max, look, when you're getting a plus 170 here, it's pretty hard not in a Major League Baseball playoff game to want to fade a price like this, right? Yes, if you think the Dodgers, I have no problem. You will like the Dodgers in this game and willing to lay $2, and you're probably going to take the money line anyways, right? No reason to take it. Probably think the Dodgers can smash Max here and get it done, take that money line, go ahead. But I'm going to go probably the other way. But I think I'll probably look to the over here. I think Max will probably do best he can, but can he really go more than 4 innings in this game here? Hopefully he does for the Blue Jays' sake. They need him to pitch as well as they can, as long as they can. The Dodgers need Glass now to pitch as well as he can too, because their bullpen sucks and you don't want to take a chance with them. But at least they got a little bit of rest with the incredible complete game performance from Yamamoto in the last game. And Glass now has incredible numbers right now in the postseason, a .6 something-ish ERA coming in. He's given up only 2 hits, two extra base hits, I think they said, so far in 18 and a third innings. Just been pretty dominant, actually. But still, got only $2 in a World Series game. He's supposed to be the 2 best teams in baseball. And look, I got Dodgers futures to trying to clean up a mess that I made with a bunch of other bad bets over the season. So kind of riding that. Maybe it's a little bit of a hedge in there or whatever. I'm more saying that the Dodgers shouldn't be $2 here, but I'm going to go over. You got some bats here that can stick here. Vladdy 5 for 14 against Glasnow with a home run and a couple of RBIs, 3 RBIs, 2 doubles, and 4 walks against Glasnow here. You got Springer 3 for 8 against Glasnow, and the other side is true too. You got Mookie, a home run off of Max in 10 at bats. You got Freddie Freeman, only hits 208 off of Max in a lengthy career, but it does have a 317 on base percentage, 9 walks and 11 hits. So 20 times he's reached base in 53 played at bats, and that's pretty good percentage there as well. You have also Edman 4 for 11 with a home run and a couple of and a double in there as well. So I'm going to end up here taking the over here in this one. Glasnow has just a 198 batting average against this Toronto lineup, so there is some definite dominance in there from Glasnow. Just 2 home runs, 17 hits, 86 at-bats against this Toronto anticipated lineup here. 11 walks, 29 strikeouts, but like I said, some guys do. Bo Bichette should be in here at second base tonight. 2 for 14 against Glasnow. Varsho 0 for 5. Clement 0 for 4. Barger 0 for 5. Here, IKF 1 for 10 against Glasnow. So there's definitely some guys in there, but I think if you look at the lineup and you look at the splits overall, the Dodger lineup has a pretty good matchup with Max. No matter how you look at it, you kind of can throw out a little bit of the long term because this is an older Max. He's still probably well above average pitcher in there, but he's probably not elite necessarily. We've seen him struggle in a few games for sure, but not in not in his last performance. So for the Blue Jays, good matchups for Springer, for Vladdy, for Kirk, Clement. Even despite the numbers here, the splits would say, talking about more Tyler Glasnow splits and what these batters do, the batters do there against right-handers. Good splits for those guys. Lucas, Varsho, Barger, and Jimenez have the down numbers here, the down splits, if you will, for a bad matchup. So I think there's enough batters on this field tonight that have a good matchup, and I'll go over 8 runs. Let me hear from you in the chat. I think I'm done with every note that I have on my script here to go for the comments in the chat. Thank you, everybody, for joining me here on the Morning Steam for the preview of the World Series. And let me see what you got. I'm trying to find it here. I talked for so long. I got 30 messages. Maybe I got to start going to that thing where, you guys do a pretty good job not going crazy in there. Probably could just let them roll on the screen. Here we go, though. Sancho's on the Dodgers. Justin says you got to take Freddie today. Freddie in his matchup. You got to take Freddie today, don't you, Justin? Try not to give away my premiums over there. I think I might have Freddie. Springer as well. These are the exact. Yeah, Justin, you and I, we think alike. No wonder we. Let's see here. Will Johnson, hello today. Dodgers. Me and Justin just, lockstep here today. Will says Jets got their first win in 35 years, right? There's Greg. And Sir Mackey talking about the Blue Jays there. Patchy liking the over. Blue Jays for Nuke. We're not going to get him off of it no matter what. So good luck to the Jays. And, I was on a show. Was it this show or was it another show or some other show? But I was like, oh, the Dodgers or the Blue Jays still have the home field advantage because they won one of the – because I was not even paying attention to what I was saying, just talking out of my gourd. And but mostly because I wasn't thinking that the Dodgers were the team that had to win a road game to get the home field. That's how, we still think they're so dominant. They don't, they didn't even, they were the ones who needed to win a road game to get the home field advantage back, but they did, of course. Hello to M the Great. And Apache, you know what? Sometimes you don't want to see, you want to see somebody with a little bit of control, but you know what? There's also, when a guy's had that much success, like if it was like the dude on my softball team that thinks he's the king, I'll be like, cuss him out or get lost guy, whatever. But when the guys had this much success, and they kind of have that switch, right? I mean, Mac's a real nice guy sometimes. Bar show for here as well. They could smoke Scherzer tonight. Bullpen, be ready. They will be. And Patchy Storm says he can kind of balance some futures there tomorrow with Otani. Toronto over their team total for Terrell. And Irish King still not anytime the Dodgers get a chance here. Max will impress you once he gets tired, right? And just obey your manager a little bit once in a while, right? And he might have to. You know what? He might have to just back off a little bit here, especially gets down to the World Series, and you got to go get Max. But we'll see. Gosh, Max could come out here and deal tonight, right? And I think that might be it from the baseball game, you guys. Is that it? And Tariq is here. Hi. And he's got it at, oh my gosh, is it 8.5 now? Jeez. Oh yeah, we're seeing 8.5. 8 over 20, 8 over 23, 8.5 under 15, 8.5 under 20, 8 over 20. No matter where you look, it's at least 8 over 20. I can't get away with anything, some bad line there on screen. And that guy's got easy lines on screen. You can grade me to 8.5 tonight. But make sure you give me that little bit of plus money or that even money anyway. Blue Jays and Dodgers will be on live tonight with the Monday Night Football. We'll be watching that one for sure. Maybe even more so than the football game. I have a feeling, though, come on. Let's talk football right now. And let's see if you think they got a chance here tonight to keep our interest. Can this game keep our interest from the World Series tonight when the Commanders take on the Chiefs here at Arrowhead? The Commanders are coming in here. Certainly, they've got to go to Mariota here as, Jaden Daniels going to be out again, having this, recurring injuries. He might be a little bit injury prone or whatever, but what are you going to do? He's been pretty solid so far, just not this season. He's missed a few games. So Mariota, we know he's already been in there for 2 games this season, and one of them was a win, the game against Atlanta that they won the Raiders 41-24. The next week they lost to Atlanta, and he still had an okay game in that one, but it'll be his 3rd start of the season. Got a little steam right now coming in football. Navy is getting steamed here right now. We'll just sneak a little in, let you know we're talking a little college football. How about that? Navy in their game this weekend, taking some steam here right now in their matchup this weekend. Navy against North Texas. It's the big game of the season. Everyone's been looking forward to this one. Navy comes in with that great record. North Texas also messed a maker with the incredible statistics. So we're seeing Navy. They were plus 6.5, and now they're down to 5.5 here. It looks like Navy has taken the steam against North Texas. Have to mention that one, that big game this Saturday. Okay, continue on, though, here with the Commanders and the Chiefs here tonight. That Chiefs defense just keeps getting better. I think that's one of the things, even though they're 4-3 and everyone is so hyped up on the Chiefs, it's not so much about Mahomes here. In fact, I'm pretty neutral on his matchups. I think for me, the matchups that I'm more interested in is how the Chiefs can shut down the Commanders here, and I'm really worried about everything the Commanders are going to try to throw at them here tonight with Mariota. I actually don't mind Mariota here a little bit, but if they can't get any running game going against a defense of Kansas City that certainly has a top 10 rushing defense, even if not a little bit better than that with Bill Merritt. Look, we love Bill. We love the story. He's not necessarily been knocking them dead after he's really under-exceeded in all of his games except the game against the Chargers. Other than that, it's been pretty much a disaster. I'd probably be fading Bill Merritt here a little bit. I just think that the Commanders end up kind of hanging in there because maybe they can have enough defense to slow them a little bit. Now, Isaiah Pacheco certainly can be the man for the Chiefs. I think they have a good chance to keep the ball on the ground, but still with Pacheco and Hunt and also with Brashard Smith right now, the Chiefs would be smart, I think, to utilize all three of these backs and kind of exploit the worst part of the Commanders' defense in this game. And I think that would lead to kind of a game where maybe the Commanders can hang in there if they can at least have enough defense to make it a lower scoring game. It is tight end weekend, or is it just tight end day on Sunday? Does Zach Ertz, do his stats count towards tight end day? I don't know if it matters because I'd probably look to fade Ertz too here in this game because Kansas City is one of the best teams at guarding against the tight ends. Probably top 5, if not top 3 in the league at stopping tight ends. And we know Ertz is good, but with Mariota in there instead of Daniels, got to think might be a little bit of a fade there as well. Terry McLaurin comes back. Deebo Samuel's in the lineup tonight. These are positives, certainly for Washington that should be respected. But Kansas City, again, playing right, almost Washington playing right into their hands. We want McLaurin to come in and have a great game. He's missed 4 games. He really wasn't doing much there the first part of the season. I think McLaurin's going to take time to get back involved here a little bit. He's good enough to make some plays, certainly, and I just keep going back to I think that the Commanders might have enough to the Chiefs do play down a little bit to their spreads, it feels like to me. So I don't know if I'm expecting a blowout here necessarily, but they certainly have the defense to do it. And Worthy and Rice now here back. Everyone's fired up about Rice. So let's see what you guys have tonight. It could be, Butker kicking a bunch of field goals here. And we want to hear from you in the chat in this one with Washington and Kansas City. Now, tough to ignore also, though, even though I'm kind of talking down about the scoring, though. But there's no doubt that the overs this weekend were hot, man. I mean, points are going through the roof, especially in these non-conference games right now. So, man, the monologue on the game kind of doesn't mesh with the pick here for me, I think. All right, here we go. Oh, you guys still had some baseball. I'm sorry about that. Nuke says, hey, if we could just get the home field back, Dodgers to win 4-2. All right. Greg says Dodgers win tonight 6-3. Andrew says Max is going to get mad. Justin likes the Chiefs first half. All right. And Will says, forget about Edmonton. I'm done. Nuke says Washington with those points here. Greg Gibson likes to possibly go over here, it looks like. Can the Oilers, are these goalies not just working out? They say they're always going to get a goalie. Worthy here. More Worthy. A lot of Worthy. We're not worthy. Terrell says, yeah, Pacheco. You know what? I still kind of like Pacheco tonight because I think he's been out snapping Hunt here, it looks like, and passing him up. And they may have caught on. You're right about that. But they still, if you look at those odds now, depending where you shop, and I know what you're saying, but if you see it where Pacheco's only a little bit ahead of Hunt, I think you can go get in there on Pacheco. That's how I think you would look at it. Rashee Rice here over. Okay. Sancho here, Oilers. That They love to blow those leads, I think we're saying here. And Greg talked about that North Texas game with that move there, getting a little discount then here on North Texas. Tariq going under in this one. Okay. And will Mahomes get 300? Okay, we do, I think, talking hockey in there. Worthy over for Terrell. Andrew loves that UNT quarterback. You know, could he end up on, maybe he'll end up on, well, we'll see. Okay, Apache Storms got his plays in there with Worthy and Mahomes, it looks like. Andrew says Hollywood Brown's numbers are really low, too. I like Pacheco here tonight, and I'd probably look to the kicker. I'd go like Razor and hit the Butker here a little bit. But Matt Gay, I was asking him last night, I said, does it stand? You know, Matt Gay is definitely questionable for this game. And Sean told me they were going to sign somebody there. I was worried they weren't going to sign anybody there. So they're not going to have some, random, like the punter go kick, right? You got time to sign a guy, but they're saying Gay is questionable here. Man, the Chiefs have a lot of weapons. Thornton, Juju, Royals, Remigio. Hey, you want to take Remigio in a little long shot tonight, maybe? No, maybe Tyquan Thornton. Is he a long enough shot? 28-20 here. All right, let's see what you guys were. Man, I'm trying to catch up. Might have to start doing that rolling comments on the screen. R. Thompson's in Washington. Irish King likes Juju's numbers here tonight. His problem is, right, how many balls do you have to go around? It's kind of like you got to pick and choose and make sure. It's only a 60-minute game. Washington and under for Derek. Terrell says balanced attack too much. Cash King, good morning. And you know what? I think Apache, the Chiefs' play calling is kind of unique, right? They do some goofy things a little bit. All it takes is one play to go to some other player. How about the Steelers? They threw to number 74 last night. Chiefs in a blowout. You got to think the Chiefs will run the ball. And with no Jaden for Washington there, thinks that'll slow them, I think. Commanders in an upset here for chosen one. Look, Mariota had his moment there, right? And that was big, going and beating up on beating the Raiders was a big deal to him, though, obviously. And no doubt, Cash Kane, it's an uphill climb, but still Washington, remember, they were a team that was obviously deep in the playoffs last year. Maybe they, declined. I said at the beginning of the season they had made the right moves to kind of get the team even better. But you got to have Daniels in there a little bit, and maybe they haven't meshed like they should. All right. Will's ready to go in basketball. He's talking about Embiid being out. How about Lane for an anytime TD? That's reaching down there a little bit. I think if I had to go, I'd probably go Luke McCaffrey for a little bit of a price here for the I think he's probably my favorite tonight. Also probably take I think Mariota's rushing touchdown prop is pretty good. And he can run. He has no problem running here even at his age. We've seen him in the games running. All right. Chiefs got the Bills. I think they said they're going to do a special pregame or something with the Chiefs and the Bills. I don't know what they were saying, but I didn't quite get the story on that. Sharps are betting the Commanders. Okay. Oh, I don't know, Cash Kane. Like I said, he says it doesn't think on who on deck matters. And I said, look, there's a reason why these non-conference games were all blowouts here this weekend, it felt like, right? And now you got the Commanders, a double-digit underdog. Look, I think the Commanders can hang, but, like I said, I think the results on Sunday prove that there's some, this was one of the weeks where you had some teams kind of mailing it in, it felt like. All right. I think that's it. You guys, good comments. All right, I guess that's it for the football. Enjoy tonight. Make sure you join us 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific for the companion stream here with the guys tonight. And this should be a good one because we got the World Series to go along with it tonight. So, we'll have a good games here. Cash Kane said, only one he lost was that Steelers game that night. Yeah, I went with the Steelers too, but I didn't want to say it on the Razor show. But certainly, man, you just got to be love continues to be the man. And I hit him on a may have been taking the Steelers, but I did take his yardage at 240 for sure in that game. I took Love over. And okay, Mariota on his rushing yard, says Sancho. Primetime games are always close, says Greg. And let me see if I have this. I might have the primetime numbers here at my fingertips ready to go. See if I do. And see where we stand with primetime action here into Monday Night Football. I might not have it. I might not have it right now. All right, Monday night. They're 5-5-1 this year, so they're right even right now this season as far as over-unders are concerned. But okay, Justin on the Steelers, Mahomes on his rushing yards, AOD Chiefs to rocket here, and Sancho Chiefs first half. Well, great job, you guys. All right, let me go to the NBA here today. Been 1 hour almost, and we've talked 2 games, but they were big games. Let's go to basketball tonight and get rolling here with these. Got Cleveland and taking on Detroit here. Cleveland on the road, favored by 2.5. And the total here is 231. In this one, you got Cleveland coming in here 2-1, but 0-3 against the spread so far. But this is a series that they do dominate actually against the Pistons. Cleveland comes in here having won 12 of the last 13 meetings against them overall. Now, like I said, Cleveland isn't covering here necessarily right now, but Detroit. All of a sudden, we were really kind of saying, hey, are they still going to be the good improving team? Maybe they're not. Well, they're 2-1, and they're 2-1 ATS coming in, and the defense has been actually pretty good at allowing just 113 points per game. The Cavs are scoring 120 here, and this total is pretty high. I'm actually probably going to go over in the game here at 231, but I don't know if the trends necessarily say that. I think I'm kind of just thinking of what I've seen here so far in these type of matchups, and I feel like that's the way this one could end up going. Now, 10 of the last 12 meetings between these two teams have gone under, but there's just a prevalent, including 5 of the last 6 here in Detroit between the two teams. But there just seems to be this prevalence right now that maybe these games are going a little bit high. And I think if you look at this, I'm ignoring, I think, the trends here in this one. Maybe Detroit look at home. I think they can keep it going here right now with a decent production here anyway. And the Cavs are averaging 120 points per game in the first 3 games so far this season. So I'm actually going over here in this one. I don't know if I made a good enough excuse there to go over. I think the trends head to head, and look, this is a division game, so those are the ones you want to trust the head to head more. But I think I'm going with the eye test here a little bit in this game, early season game right now, and even at 231, I kind of shrugging my shoulders. But again, sticking with my numbers, and on the last 2 big cards, I'll say it. I mean, I went 4-8 on that first night on the totals, going with a bunch of, we had a couple of, but on the opening night of the season, I was like, these numbers are too high. I'm going under. And I went under in every game, but like 2 of them. And those games we did hit, or 3 of them, but 2 of them we hit the over. I had 4-8. And then on the next 12 game schedule, I over adjusted my numbers. I rely on numbers. I mean, Then I said, "Oh, I believe we'll go back over here," and then it kind of went under in the like overcompensation. Now it wasn't as bad because we did hit some of them for sure, but and we hit them a few there last night as well. But okay, let's see if you guys got anything here in to the hoop, to the hoop. It's to the hoop, y'all. It's basketball. Let me see. Tell me, were you in the joint the night Wilt scored 100 points and when the took titles back to back and didn't give nobody no kind of smack? Basketball has always been my thing. I like Magic Bird and Bernard King. And number 33, my man Kareem is the center on my starting team. Remember that one, you guys? Okay, here we go. Under here for Chosen One. We do says Caps, Pistons, Levert, and I better get the injuries here and stop singing Curtis Blow. Kirk says 117, 115. Here's Robert Dixon likes the Pistons. R. Tomps likes Cleveland. And yeah, we got the back-to-backs. That's what we needed right there, right? Cleveland got the win, but they did not get the cover in that last game. And we know Detroit did a great job of taking down Boston again. Pistons can dominate on the rebounding. And let's see here. Props have been high too, huh? And Cash Gains talking basketball as well. Okay. I think that's it. Pistons +2, an overreaction there, maybe. I'm going to take the over in this one. Let's keep on moving here. We got a big card here. Magic on the road. Are they really 5 now over the Sixers? Yeah, the steam came in overnight. In fact, I'm seeing them 5.5 here. And well, we know Joel Embiid is not going to play in this game, so that's kind of the big news here and probably why this spread. But you know what? I mean, what has Embiid done for us? We know we like the rest of the Sixers here, it feels like right now. But I don't know. The Magic match up pretty well against the Sixers, actually, and I might be willing to still lay it here at 5.5. It seems like it's pretty high. But, you know, these Sixers, the rest of them look pretty good here right now. I don't think it's a terrible situation because you don't have Embiid. He's only averaging 12 points and 4 rebounds so far when he's been out there, looking pretty pedestrian, I guess. Magic come in here, though, 1-2, 0-3 ATS. Philly's 2-0, but 0-2 ATS, strangely enough. But Orlando's up to a 5.5 point favorite. Man, I thought I liked them here. Let me see what you got. I might have to ask first before I go to the pick here with Orlando. Definitely taking some big time steam here and laying some points. But man, I better tack 5.5 on them here because I think I'm going to take them against Philly here tonight, unless you guys can talk me off of it. In this series, Orlando has gone just 2-6 in the last 8 games against Philly. They're also just 4-15 straight up in the last 19 against Philly. But don't forget, even dating back to last year, yes, Philly's 2-0, but they're still 0-2 ATS, and they're actually 4-12 against the spread their last 16 dating back to last season, and 3-14 straight up in their last 17. But they're still looking decent here right now. Let me see what you guys have in the chat. Here, Chosen One's on the Magic, says a bounce back spot for the Magic. 9 Legacies on the Magic here, and I think Guido's saying Magic in there somewhere. Greg Gibson saying I think he likes Philly in the over here. This total's at about 226 right now. Justin says Maxey. Everybody's liking a little Maxey. Oops, where's my line on this? Did I show it here? There we go. Yeah, there we go. I think we got through the comments. So, man, I'm going to take Orlando. I'm going to take Orlando because Maxey and VJ and, I mean, well, not you guys. I mean, talk about Philly. I'm taking Orlando actually here right now to get this win and give Philly their first loss in this one. Hawks and Bulls with the Hawks here. A little bit of a favorite now, huh? They were a dog, but now they're a favorite here. Man, they're up to 2 at some places. Maybe it's 1.5 for the most part, but I'm seeing some 2s out there right now in this one with Atlanta and Chicago today in the total 242.5. This one's been going up for sure. And let's see how you have it here today when Atlanta takes on the Bulls here in this one. You got Atlanta coming in here 1-2 right now, 1-2. ATS coming into this one. You got the Bulls 2-0, 2-0 ATS as well. So they've won them both. They've covered. Did go under in both games so far, and Bulls defense just allowing 104 points per game so far, but this number is pretty high, man, and it does seem like in this matchup it probably should be an over, but gosh, is it too high? Can you really do it? That is a huge number, but the Bulls offense, even though they're only averaging 112 points per game, and we do know here also Giddey is on the injured list here. He is questionable for this game. Also, Ricochet questionable for Atlanta. KP questionable. Jalen Johnson questionable in this one. So there's some moving parts here as usual in this one, but Chicago's chemistry looks pretty good so far. They've been finishing games, even if they're not getting the number a little bit, it feels like. As favorites here, and they're going to be favored again. It'd be hard for them not to cover this one if they don't win. But look, both teams, I think, good guard play, defensive holes, scoring will probably stay hot all night here, despite what we've seen so far. So I'm going to take Chicago, though, in this one. I'm going to lay it with the Bulls now. The move has been on Chicago here, 1.5 to 2, and I'm going to take Chicago in this one over Atlanta here on the Morning Steam Show. See what you guys have here in this one. It's going to be Irish King on Chicago. Justin likes that over as well. I mean, I thought I was like, bummer. It's 240. I thought we were going to have a good over here. I was like, oh, man, this game will come 235. We'll go in over. This line's been moving only one way. Here's Bulls money line for Cash Kane. Bulls money line for Greg. But Chosen One likes the Hawks here. And maybe we do like Chicago. Maybe it could go overtime in this close game. I'm on Chicago. All right, you got the Nets and the Rockets. Big number here. But look, the Nets kind of came back last night. Now, I know they ended up probably not getting the money for most early comers to the line. May have gotten home with Brooklyn yesterday. It ended kind of right on the number, 10.5, 11 there in the game between Brooklyn and San Antonio. We know it kind of went up and then came back down, like the Sharps were kind of playing with the line a little bit, but ended up, depending on, it feels like when you got the money, when you got the line, when you made your bet. The Nets come in here 0-3. The Rockets come in here not looking good either. They're winless as well. So it's not scoring. I don't think that's the issue for Brooklyn. They're averaging 116, but allowing 128 games so far, and they don't look like they're trying very hard. I like their young players, but they're still probably going to be overmatched now at 15 points. I'm probably still going to have to just draw a line in the sand and say I'm willing to do it and take the Brooklyn Nets here. After all, Houston haven't been able, they can beat anyone by any margin yet. They can't even win. So I think if the game is a double-digit spread this high, I think the game's going to drag a little bit, and that may even help Brooklyn here if it's not some wild 240-point game or something. If it stays in closer to 220, this is going to be a cover, I think, for Brooklyn here, and that's kind of the way I think I'm going to end up seeing this one, that Brooklyn can actually get the money here in this game. So I'm actually going to take Brooklyn here at 15 points against Houston. Understand the mismatch, but Rockets are winless here still right now. And, I'm going to take the Nets here in this one. Nets are definitely going to be struggling most of the year, but they're going to be getting points like this. Got to time the market, right? Try to play that human algorithm, I guess. Nets cover says Cash Kane, Houston first half for Tariq, and Greg says Rockets in a blowout with an over there. Good job, Greg. All right, well, panic time in Boston here. Those 0-3 right now, going to take on the Pelicans here. Pelicans don't have a win either, right? 0-2 so far. Boston coming in 1-2 ATS. Pelicans have failed, lost and failed, of course, in both those games. Boston's 2-1 to the over. Pelicans are 2-0 to the over so far. This total at 233, probably no reason why it probably shouldn't be. I think it's 234 even at some spots, just going through the roof here, and probably feels like it should be one of those games that does challenge this number and maybe even go over. The widely reported steam came on the over in this one. Pelicans are allowing 124 points per game so far this season. Now, 6 of the last 9 meetings between these two teams have gone under, but, for the Pelicans, you go back to last year, they have a couple losses here. Remember, they were on a 7-game losing streak to end last season, and meanwhile, Boston has won 8 straight meetings against the Pelicans coming in. But there's something wrong in Boston so far. I'm not good enough to know what it is, but a lot of experts are saying that, this is not looking great. It's easy to say when you're 0-3 right now, but when you're only scoring 108 points a game and you're Boston and you have your star obviously out for an extended period of time. Now, Brown has played every game and he's played well, but he still has been on that injured list and still getting some good points here. He's actually not on the injured list today, so maybe Boston will be at full strength. Misi is questionable for the Pelicans. So let's see how you have it in the chat. I'm taking the Pelicans actually here in this one. Pelicans are laying 2. It says 3 there, but they're definitely laying 1.5 or 2. Let's call it 2, but it's not 3 anymore. And I'm going to take the Pelicans in this one over the Celtics. And Celtics will be 0-4. Oh, my goodness. Who saw this coming? Celtics on the money line here for Cash Kane. And Boston here, money line for Irish King. Rockets first half and full game. Sengun to go over in his rebounds. Pelicans for Tariq. Greg says, he says 118, 116 here. And Derek White here, just get over 20. All right, I'm going to take the Pelicans. Raptors and Spurs. In this one, you got the Raptors on the road, a 5-point dog or so. Call it 5.5. It might be 6 at this point with the Raptors here favored at home. For Toronto, come in here 1-2, 1-2 ATS. Toronto's gone over in all 3 games so far this season. Their games have been out of control. They're averaging 253 points in their 3 games so far, averaging 127 points per game. The Spurs come in 3-0, straight up 3-0 against the spread. Are they going to win the NBA championship? They might. They're 30-1 right now to win the NBA championship. Now, look, you've got Oklahoma City, okay. You've got Golden State. You've got Denver. You've got Clippers, Lakers. You got some other. All you need is them to maybe get in the semifinals in the Western Conference, I think, to get at least paid somewhat on 30-1. You can get more than 30-1. I'm being a little bit conservative there. San Antonio, I know Wemby would be is a popular play for the MVP, but I think to get paid, I think I'd rather go with the Spurs to win the NBA Finals and then look to hedge out once they get into a pretty profitable position, or at least hedge some of it there. And I like who doesn't like San Antonio at this point? They look incredible. 1-2 to the under so far. They're allowing just 105 points per game so far this season against Toronto. Toronto is actually 6-3 ATS in their last 9 games against San Antonio. Toronto's been, like I said, an over team so far. I think this one's going over. I think I got to take the over in this one with the Raptors and Toronto. Yep. The Spurs are averaging their wins by 16 points per game so far this season, and Toronto they're allowing big points. So the Spurs are winning. Wemby's, controlling everything out there, looking good. Toronto's defense practically non-existent. I'm going to go over with Toronto and San Antonio. All right. It was a long Sunday, wasn't it? It was fun. Getting close to the time change here, though. Next week, right? Is it next week? No, the week after, right? Okay. My favorite day of the year. Here we go. With Spurs here for Cash Kane. Spurs for Chosen One. Jordan Poole gets the first bucket. Spurs team total over here for Tariq. Spurs have been with 9 Legacies team. And Raptors just ran out of gas last night in that game against Dallas. So, yeah, it makes it a little bit tougher here. You're playing the back-to-back in the old Texas triangle. Greg says he likes the Spurs to cover this one. He likes it over, though, big time. Good call there, Greg. And Will's ready to go to the CBA or something here. Okay, let's keep it moving here on the Morning Steam Show. We're knocking them out and getting it going here with, I don't know how this got in here, but I think I just left one in there from yesterday. Here we go. I was like, did I stop typing them in? No, I just skipped over it. Thunder, Mavericks. Thunder favored here by 7.5. Maybe it's 8. Oh gosh, it's 8.5 since I typed these in. We should have ran the Morning Steam a few hours ago because I want to take the Thunder here to roll the Mavs here in this one tonight. I think, look, Oklahoma City's defense is certainly going to always be there, right? They come in, no problem. Look, yes, they've had the overtime game so far. They are just 1-2 ATS, 3-0 overall, allowing 119 a game. But look, they've had 2 double overtime games. I think they have the defense. It's been strong. So Dallas has been inconsistent offensively. We know that. Averaging 112 points per game, allowing 123, and both teams have gone under in multiple games so far. Thunder 2-1 to the over, I said, right? So Oklahoma City's winning by an average of 8 points coming in. That's where this line is. But, yeah, with the back-to-back here for Dallas, yeah, they're at home in both of them, but I got to take the Thunder here to win, and I'm going to take them to win by double digits to give me OKC minus 8.5 in this one against Dallas here tonight. All right, let's see here. Weedu says Mavs money line, Mavs points. Mackey says it's great defense from OKC. We know they are. They're, these guys are humble. Look, they even say, I think, what can stop this team? And, you hear Chet, and let me read to you the injured list. Actually, Chet's on the injured list, but Chet's like, we don't have any egos. I think we can keep this team together for a while. Chet's questionable tonight. Jalen with an L, he's questionable tonight. Isaiah Joe, questionable. Caruso is out. Brandon Williams, he's questionable for Dallas here. Gafford, questionable. Exum, questionable. A lot of guys out here taking OKC. Apache Storm, Raptors first quarter. Tariq, OKC team total over. And I'll take OKC. Let's keep it moving here on the Morning Steam. We're going to be done soon. Phoenix is on the road taking on Utah, and Phoenix is favored by 1.5. And still kind of trying to figure out the Suns here, it feels like so far. But Utah also 2 inconsistent teams that haven't really what we're not expecting them to be upper echelon here for sure right now. Jazz are averaging just 116 so far, giving up 106 though, but Phoenix has been involved in a few high scoring games, mostly giving up the points, let's be honest. Suns come in here 1-2, allowing 126 points per game. They've gone over in all 3. Jazz are 1-1, but 2-0 ATS. But good defense, allowing just 106 points per game after they beat up on the Clippers of all teams. But both teams are capable, to hit shots, though, I think, against one another here. The Jazz as well. So this one might be a high-scoring game. And if it does, I think that favors the Suns, actually, with these two. Phoenix comes in here 4-1 ATS in their last 5 games against Utah. And 7 of the last 8 meetings between these teams have gone over. I think that says Phoenix and over to me. But I'm going to take Phoenix as my official play over Utah here tonight. Look, I'll be on Utah more than you. I think. I don't know. That's not it. Hope I didn't hurt anybody's feelings with that. But I'm going to take Phoenix here tonight. In this one, going back to last year, Utah was losing games left and right when they were in the tankathon there a little bit. But so was Phoenix. In fact, these two teams, if you look at them combined back to the end of last season, are combined 4-23 straight up, dating back to last year, their last 13, 14 games or so. And, it's a new season, but it doesn't look like a lot of hope for these guys here right now. Maybe for Phoenix, there's some hope. And a long way to go for these two, right? All right. Let's see. Apache said Cooper probably partied after that nice performance he had last night. I think look, there's going to be some ups and downs with Cooper Flag, but let's remember he's partying with ginger ale. 9 Legacy says Utah Moneyline. We do like in Kessler here. And probably Sir Mac is probably talking about Cooper Flag won't be able to play any defense, I think. And Greg says, I think Greg here likes, he's got this one pretty close. Next up, the Nuggets are on the road here taking on the Timberwolves, and we got some big news regarding this one, right? And the reason why the Timberwolves are now 5.5-point dogs is because we know that Ant probably is not going to play. We saw him in street clothes there after injuring his hamstring last night. Look, Ant's averaging 25 points a game, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. We don't worry about the 2 assists. We're not asking Anthony Edwards to pass the ball. We need him to score the ball. And here against Denver, we won't be in there, but now we're getting 5.5 points here with Minnesota. Denver always plays with their food. It feels like they're 1-1, 1-1 ATS. Timberwolves are 0-3 ATS so far. These two teams have combined 4-1 to the over. Denver's games are averaging 256 points so far. But division foes here, maybe it won't be an over here tonight, although 6 of the last 9 meetings between these two teams have gone over here in this one. So it does feel a little bit dicey without Edwards here, and we're wondering, where Minnesota kind of stands right now with, not when he's in there and when he's not. But they're 2-1 here. They've looked okay, and they're getting 5.5 points. And I think I'd prefer to take Minnesota. I think they're actually getting 6 pretty much everywhere here right now. So I'm gonna still take Minnesota here in this one. Look, this after all, when you're talking about all this load management a little bit, and here these points at home in some of these games, I don't know if this is the one to make an example of, but players are going to be out every time now, and you just got to get used to it and just try to play what you feel. Like I said, I like to play the human algorithm, so I'm on the teams that kind of been maybe not. I don't play the do factor. All right, a few comments from you guys in the chat. Nuggets for Sancho here. Greg says wrong team favored. Weedu says over, I think. And Terrell says, yep, hamstring injury, he said. Apache Storm, Utah first half. Action Jackson. We don't need him to pass the ball, right, Action Jackson? Tariq says he likes the over in the Jazz game. And we need Ant to not drive to the hoop or drive in his car. Greg says here he likes this one under, it looks like. Yeah, it doesn't look good, Apache, right? In looking at that situation yesterday, leaving the game, it's one thing to, be put on the injured list after the game, after he played the full game, right? But he left and came back in street clothes. Tariq's on Denver. We got 2 more here late night out west with the Grizzlies taking on the Warriors, and the Warriors are big 8-point favorites here against Memphis tonight. maybe even 8.5 here right now. For the Grizzlies here, Vince Williams is still out here right now. The Warriors, you got Big Al is going to be out here. Big Al is out of this game. He's looked pretty good so far, the old man. Both teams come in here 2-1, 2-1 against the spread, also 5-1 to the over combined so far this season. Warriors 3-0 to the over. Their games are averaging 251 points per game. Memphis's games are averaging 246 points per game. The Steam came in on the over in this game and has driven it all the way up here to 239.5. Gotta think this is going to be a wild one. I gotta think that move might even be correct here, and there might even be a little room to breathe still after that. I better update my numbers here. I still got it back at 236.5. So, but I'm going to take Memphis actually in this game. That's a pretty big number. I know Big Al ain't the be-all, end-all, but I'm not necessarily ready to start getting down on Memphis yet. I'm sure I will eventually, but hey, you've covered 2 of 3 so far. You're at least scoring here, even if you're giving it up. And if we're going to see a high-scoring game tonight, why wouldn't it be a wild one? Both teams get into the 120s here in a close game all the way. Memphis to stay in there with Golden State here tonight. Grizzlies. And we've got, I think, Tariq went with Denver. Let me see here. Gordon to keep on going there for Terrell, I think. We just says 2 in a row. Can't do it. Need a day off. Here is Irish King, Denver first half. And Apache says they're trying to make you take the O in the Denver game. Yeah, I'm not going to fall for that, Apache. You know I'm not going to fall for that. Irish King likes Curry to go here over on his points with the Grizzlies. Pretty bad defensively, yep. The one thing is they just refuse to, it's like they refuse. And that's going to cost them in the end, just like it has so far. Memphis really, they got to where they have gone, and I don't feel like they're going, they're improving enough, right? They flatlined already with this group of players. They're going to be fine on any given night, right, when you're against a similar team. But all right, you guys are cracking me up there in the chat. Okay, Memphis to cover here, Warriors to get the money for cash gain. However, Greg says he likes this one here. He likes Memphis here, I think. Terrell says Memphis, team total over. And Grizzlies over for Justin.
Final.
We've got one game left here. Maya Joint beat Sevastova in 3 sets. Watching the second set here for Marozan and Rinderknecht. And I think Marozan just took the lead in the tie. Oh, no, it's still on serve here in the tiebreaker, or has he got the lead? They're playing showing a replay, so the score disappeared. Okay, Terrell. Maybe that was it with Brooks there. All right, got one more here. The Blazers are at the Lakers, and this is where the big news comes in. You probably already heard, but if you didn't, Luka's going to be out now for a week or more. Did I say or more? They're going to reevaluate him in a week. It's not the finger now. He's got a problem with his leg. I don't know what he got. Blood clots? Maybe, was he taking some supplements to make him help lose the weight? Whatever. Okay, I'm kidding. But Luka's going to be out here. The line is totally shifted to the Blazers as a favorite here tonight by 2.5 or 3. And I'm taking the Blazers. I mean, it's one thing to have LeBron and put all the stress on Luka. And when I say stress, right, is Luka already feeling the stress? Not the stress, but the stress, the physical stress of a revamped body. And now you got to go out there and play extra hard, extra games because of LeBron, who was supposed to be Mr. Atlas out there, can't make the lineup because of his sciatica. So that is bad news for the Lakers right now. At this point, Gabe Vincent questionable, Jackson Hayes questionable, Maxi Kleber still out, Robert Williams questionable for Portland here. And I got to take Portland in this one. Lakers are probably a total disaster. I'm sure they'll give up a ton of points here tonight and probably get rocked. Hope they can go over at 220, 227-ish. It's gone down here a little bit. Then it went all the way to 226 and now back to 227. Let's see what you got here. But bad news for the Lakers. Greg took Memphis. Sancho likes Maya joint. And 9 Legacy likes the Blazers. And Tariq, watch out, right? You're going to be sidelined here. Now you might start eating tacos. No Luka, no win. Blazers win, says Greg. He likes this one. Looks like kind of Blazers here. And right, Terrell, it's just a bad news. Cam's in that here today. Like it says, Shang Wei Lei today. Got some good matches here coming up. Fernley and Rublev are about to go here in a few minutes, and then Popyrin and Bublik, Sonego and Korda at the Paris Masters. This is the big event of the week here. You're going to want to watch Paris Masters. Great action here right now. And Rinderknecht has actually come back, and he's going to have match point here all of a sudden. First game was 7-6, and now 2 match points here for Rinderknecht, although Marisen's on serve, but might be an end to this one, and there it is. He hit it right back into the net, and Rinderknecht has won this match. Sancho, don't play the spoiler here. This isn't the Razor stream. Just kidding. All right, Justin's got the Rockets there. And let's see. Anything else, you guys? Some good matches here to watch this morning. All right, let's. I got 2 hockey games to look at, and then the show will be over here. Playoff game just ended in Taiwan, 9-7. The Rakuten Monkeys over the China Trust Brothers. Did you guys have that one? Action Jackson says, look, Portland's a good young team. They're still in the learning stage, unfortunately. Getting better. And Lakers, right? Not only are they going without Luka, but they are also on the back-to-back after the game. And we had him last night, okay? Justin likes the Celtics. Let me get these 2 hockey games in here with the Blues and the Penguins here tonight, with the Blues on the road, minus $1.20 on the road here at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's been awesome so far, haven't they? They're back, or, well, at least they're looking good here so far in this one, although St. Louis on the road is a slight favorite. But you do have the Blues here, 3-4-1, allowing 4.1 goals per game. The Penguins come in here 6-2-1. They're 7-2 on the puck line so far, averaging 3.6 goals per game. For Bennington here, 2-3-1, 3.12 goals against, 87% save percentage. Tristan Yari, 3-1 record, 2.51 goals against, and a 92% save percentage coming into this one. Maybe the numbers so far this season might suggest Pittsburgh in this one. St. Louis is just 2-7 so far in their last 9 against Pittsburgh, dating back. Pittsburgh's also won 5 straight against St. Louis. They've got the momentum here. I'm going to take Pittsburgh. I'm vetoing the computer, my algorithm. I have got an algorithm, and it says take St. Louis. I said, that can't do it, algorithm. I'm going to take Pittsburgh here right now in this one. And the algorithm always gets the last laugh because I'm the one that punches in the numbers. But Pittsburgh's at home. I'll take them here. Okay, let's see here. We've got Luka drinking that beer. Maybe that's what he did. He stopped drinking the beer, huh? Luka leading the league. Will Johnson had Rakuten Monkeys. How about it? You know, it's a hit and miss sometimes when I want to watch the Taiwan games because you got to go to the illegal streams, and sometimes maybe I just don't have the right URLs. But Penguins here for Justin as well. Will took the Penguins. Greg said bad spot for the Lakers. Greg says Pittsburgh wins it in and over. And next up is the Bruins here on the road taking on Ottawa. And the Bruins have gone south here real fast. They've actually kind of come back here a little bit, right? 4-6-1, 7-3 ATS here so far. Senators 4-4-1, 3-6 on the puck line. I said ATS because I was just going through the motions. Bruins, of course, 7-3 on the puck line. That's what I want to say. And Senators are 6-3 to the over this season, allowing 3.9 goals per game so far. And the widely reported steam did come in on the over in this game. So far, so good, I guess, for Ottawa here, right? Staying 500. The Bruins have had a little bit of a rough start to the season. They started hot, and then now they're pretty much ice cold. But 11 of the last 15 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Ottawa's won 4 of the last 5 meetings between the two teams here in Ottawa. Got Swayman up against Allmark for Swayman here. Actually, the Senators have Merlainen and goal here today. So let me put that in there here right now. This is confirmed. Merlainen is in goal. And might be a bit of a new name for everyone, but he has played in one game this season with a 7.12 goals against and a 73% save percentage, but he will get the start here in this one. Has that affected the line here that they've gone to the backup? Right now I'm showing, $1.65 here maybe right now. And that's certainly it. Also, maybe has made it a little bit dicey here with the Bruins on the puck line. It's still a pretty high price right now to play the Bruins here on the puck line. Kind of want to maybe take the. Let's see what you guys got in the chat, if anything, before I make the call here. 2 games on the card. I want to get it right. And then the show will be over here for Monday. Don't forget to join us here tonight. All right. Let's see here. Right now, Boston on that puck line here currently at plus 1.5, minus 170. Oh, boy. This one's... here we go. Save me, chat. Action Jackson, it hasn't been mentioned yet. Should have been mentioned for sure. Austin Reeves for 51 points there last night. Good job. Greg says 4-2 Ottawa here. And I think I'm getting spammed here, guys. I've gotten a message here. I don't know from Columbia, probably one of my Excedensory 9 Solars. Is that a real name? Okay. Under. The Penguins are plus money? Then give me the under. Good point. Okay, I see ya. Bruins under here. Pittsburgh money line. Crosby anytime goal. All right. Pittsburgh money line. I'm going to take Boston tonight. I'm taking Boston here. As my play. Give me Boston plus the on the money line. Boston on the money line in my play here on the Morning Steam show. It's going to do it here for the Morning Steam. Penguin Senators money line there. Ottawa by 2. And Tariq on Ottawa. Also some steam coming in for next week in the NFL here. Jaguars and Raiders steam to the over. It was 43.5 going up to 44.5 here right now. And Greg's warning me here. Are You know what? I actually got scammed one time with the old green card thing. I don't know what I was thinking. I might have been out of it, but probably was a little bit before I knew what was going on in the world. Like 15 years ago or something. It was a while ago, but what was I thinking? I just had a lot of money. Then I guess I'll just give someone a green dot card with $500 on it. And now I know. Now I know better. I don't know what I was thinking. I had bills. I don't know who was calling me. Should have known by the accent, huh? All right, it's going to do it here for the Morning Steam Show. Thank you very much for joining me here. And don't forget, go to winnable.com/Ramon. Get my package of plays for just 50 cents a day. I promise it's worth it. You get updates from me every day, right up into the action. Yeah, you can watch these shows and get all my plays pretty much. But then I kind of refine them and then send out the best of the best. Because I try to give you what I think here. Winners, plays anyway, sides and totals on all these shows. I love to do it. I love to talk about all the teams and the games. We try to pick it right. But, hey, got to narrow it down eventually, and that's why I do send out my best plays over at winnable.com/Ramon. So check me out.
Hey, it's Mikey Money here, letting you know the Sports Money team is live on Winnable. Come check out our best bets.
For a low monthly cost, you get the very best bets delivered instantly to your phone by text the moment they're locked in. No delays, no missed lines, just the smartest plays at the best odds.
We do the work, you get the plays, and they're sent right to your phone right when we drop them.
Don't wait, don't guess, don't miss the line. Join the winning team today and start cashing tickets with Winnable.
All right, someone's going to win 1 month of those plays to check me out and see. The Winnable thing I like right now, and I think one thing I really enjoy about the platform at Winnable is the fact that they've been improving their AI algorithm stuff. So what happens is I go ahead and make my picks a little bit, and then the AI tries to run through it and tries to turn them into little tickets anyway, and then ends up showing like whether you, win or whether I win or lose. And so when it comes up here, it's hard to see, but, it's got the little win right there on some of the games from yesterday. I had a little series of winners there. What's that in NFL? Over with Cincinnati and the Jets, over with Carolina, Buffalo, over with Baltimore and Chicago. And then it shows you, it's a winner right there. It says win. So you can go back and look through all my picks actually and see the ones that won and the ones that lost. It does say lost, so it doesn't quite pick them up yet. Some of them it doesn't always register with the AI, so it doesn't quite work perfect yet. So make sure you're reading all the plays in there. But I still like the fact that it's improving, and it works for me here, and it helps process it because it's powered by Stripe, which is a totally legitimate payment processing thing. So if you do subscribe, it's just going to look like when you go to Taco Bell and double click on the Apple Pay, Google Pay, credit card, whatever. And I'll only charge you if you want to be charged. Just sign up for the free picks over there, and then you can get signed up. Or maybe you're going to win right now 1 month of the picks. Here we go. Action Jackson, Tariq, Sancho, Greg, Blake, Weedu, Nine Legacy, Irish King, Jerry Jones, Nick Handy. The winner's Joe W. I'll just put another month onto Joe W's subscription. He deserves it. He's here wishing me good morning every day. So thank you to Joe for joining us here on the show on Monday. And we'll be back at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific tomorrow. Mikey Money joins you here 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific today with pre-gaming. Mikey gets you ready for the primetime action, including for our companion stream tonight when we go live with the razor sharp picks. We got the action tonight with the World Series and the football game. I think I said it in the right order there, kind of right. And, now Vukic is on 2 match points here against at Maine, and I got at Maine. Man, that's why I didn't have any premiums today. I got to get through the first round here first. Vukic just served an ace, and I lost my bet. If it's only a bet, it doesn't kind of qualify for a pick, and I think I've had a couple of losses here with the ATP in Paris, but I'm going to be as soon as we get down here next round, I'll probably be in action here, watching this first round and paying my dues here a little bit. All right, it's going to do it for the show. I'll see you tonight. And for the Sports Money Network, I'm Ramon Scott. So long.
That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steal. Ramon Scott, sports money. Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money.